What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, I believe, 24th of February. Happy hump day. It's want to say 9 something at night. Decided to do it on my lunch break, so I have a little more time. To think about what I wanted to talk about. And for today's Plus Vibes on Geo Poppin' Packs, please subscribe. And I swear, as soon as I get a computer, I'm going to change that name because I like the Geosphere and I would like to change that. I've been toying with that notion. It's been like a 3 or 4 part series almost of the same kind of thing, but like I've been toying with that notion of, putting the pressure on me to essentially create a diamond is the metaphor I'm going for, or whether or not that pressure will make me crumble. And then the other thing is that do I get the thing that I want that creates the pressure that ultimately could propel me forward? Or do I utilize this random, fortunate thing that has plopped into my lap? Do I use this resource and facilitate some of the more practical things, not wants, practical things? Essentially, they're still all wants. I mean, like, if I was just going to do necessities, your necessities are just food, water, shelter, right? So, I don't know if I can call it necessity, but it is a more practical, more helpful one. And I'm just going to tell you right now, deliberating, sometimes, and this is what I found out, that you get excited, and there's nothing wrong with excitement, but it's just another one of those things that falls under the category of emotions. That excitement was an emotional reaction, and I got myself all pumped up and excited about it, when in reality I should have been looking at things more logically. And now that it's been days and I've mulled it over and really thought it out, the logical decision that I'm going to be much more happier in the long run about is doing the practical, doing the more helpful in the long run decision, right? Not the immediately gratifying and maybe long-term suffering. And maybe some of you guys struggle with that kind of stuff too. Maybe you're thinking about, maybe you're in a position where you need a different car, right? Your car's giving you a lot of trouble. And if you go to the dealership, they're probably going to try and talk you into sitting into a lease, right? And, that payment's a little chunky, but in the moment, and when you're sitting in that car and all that kind of stuff, that excitement, that oh man, it's new and it's nice, and hey, I deserve it, I work hard, and you kind of tell yourself whatever it is you want to tell yourself to make you feel better about getting this thing that you really want. And don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? It's fine to get things you want, and if you're financially in a spot that you can afford to take that on, hey, be my guest. I'm not saying don't ever get the new car, but if you're trying to build up and grow and you're not in a great financial place currently, and you're trying to get to a great financial place, well, right now is not the time for that new car. A few years from now is the time for that new car. So for right now, take the cheaper option. Try and buy something cash that's running okay for right now. Do that kind of thing. You gotta leave your emotions out of important decision making. There's no place for them. They don't help. And they almost led me down a terrible decision making path. I almost made a pretty terrible decision. Now that I've reviewed it in heavy analytics. So, and I'm glad putting these videos out and talking about it and going back and forth with some people who read them and commented and whatnot. It's been a humongous help. I'm glad people are involved. I'm glad people are watching. I'm getting people thinking, and it also helps me think things through. And I think it's amazing. Nobody's perfect, and like I've said it 1,000 times, I put out what I believe is correct, and I'm not always going to be right. And I'm also putting out a lot of things that I've read from successful people who are doing well, who I assume are doing it right, you know? So, and they all say there's no place for emotion in fine-tuning your performance. There's no place for emotion in analytical decision making. There's no place for emotion when you're trying to make a better life for yourself. In the decision making process, specifically. Obviously, when you're trying to make a better life for yourself, you're trying to create happiness. And will you experience emotions? Of course you will. But when it's time to make the decision, make sure that you're making that decision without the emotions being involved. None of them say don't feel. They're just saying exclude them when you're about to make that decision. And I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that I talked it out, and I'm glad that I'm moving forward in the path that I am. I wish I would have done it sooner. But we all move at our own pace. And even though I'm a turtle, I'm going to still make that finish line. I love you all. If you're a turtle, keep crawling. If you're a horse, keep running. Have a good night. Peace out.